We're here with Doreen DeCosmis, and we're excited to interview her about her real estate year in 2022. Let's get into it. So, with 2022 in the rear view, what was real estate like for you in 2022? And can you just tell us a little bit about your year?
Well, since joining the team, 2022 was my first full-time year as a realtor. It was a great learning experience. I learned a lot about myself, about the market, about clients, what they're out for. I grew a lot in 2022. So it was a huge growth spurt, a lot of implementation into my success, because it was a successful year for me. It didn't end as quite as successful, got a little quiet in fourth quarter, but overall it was a good year.
And I think that did for everybody naturally, but mentioning the market cooling off in the fourth quarter, the reality is in 2022, there was less transactions in 2022 than there was in any of the previous years, yet you had your best year in 2022. I think that speaks volumes for a lot of people, because not everybody had their best year this year. That's not what a lot of people did, so credit to you. But let's talk about that, right? Like what do you credit to your success this year? It was a challenging past year for a lot of realtors in the industry, but what do you credit for your success this past year, coming off your best year?
Well, I have a pretty amazing team leader that has always had faith in me and guided me and supported me. But overall, it was the processes that we have in place. We have system processes, and implementing more of those consistent habits, if that's proper English. And really sticking to them and being consistent, because that has truly paid off.
Yeah, so using those systems and processes that we developed over the course of 12 years, but not just using them here and there. If I'm hearing you correctly, it was the consistency of how you used what the team had offered, the value that we had. It was the consistency in which you use these things to create success. Right? Obviously that was a team thing, but it was a you thing. You had to stay consistent in using these things. You had to stay consistent in doing open houses. You had to stay consistent in making your calls. But I don't think that that's a secret for anybody. It's just a lot of people can't remain consistent. So kudos to you for having your best year ever, because you stayed consistent, because a lot of people can't, especially in an up and down year.
And that it was.
Yep. What's the biggest thing you learned last year? I know you talked about there was a lot of growth and a lot of implementation and new things into your business, but what would you say is the biggest thing you learned about your business in 2022 from last year?
That if I stick with it and I'm consistent with it and I take advantage of the opportunities out there, that I'm pretty damn good at it. And I can definitely be successful at it.
Yeah, it shows. I mean, you've done very well. You've become more consistent. The more consistent you become, the more successful you become. It's just about putting everything together and staying consistent with it. And I think you're, like you said, with all the growth you've had in implementation, I'm excited to see what you do with it all. Which leads us into the next thing. I mean, how do you feel about 2023, the real estate market in this year?
I'm excited about it. It's there's a lot of mixed signals out there as far as what to expect, and it's going to be a struggle, but I'm still excited about it because of my growth and what I've learned this past year, and bringing it into the new year and applying.
So really starting to implement everything that you learned last year. What now you know what worked, what didn't work. You could double down on some of the things that did work, get rid of the things that didn't work. Yeah, I would agree with you. I think that you're in a position now to put things into place with all your growth and implementation as to what really, I guess, was the best return on investment of time, what was the best return on investment of money, what activities returned the best investment, understanding what activities you should really be focusing on a consistent basis. Simple, but not easy, right?
Not easy.
But simple. Well, we wish you the best of luck in 2023. We'll be here to support you, and we're excited to see what you do.
Thank you very much. I'm excited too.
Hello.